It feels like life is attacking you from every angle, and it seems impossible to turn the tides around. You are having trouble with your rhythm, you're having maybe more disagreements than you would like to have in your personal and professional life, and you're just feeling overall out of rhythm, out of your game. You may have seen our last video that highlighted signs that you've been taken out of your game, and if not, we'll make sure that we link it up here so that you can take a look. But in that video, we talked about some of those symptoms and signs and indicators that you've been taken out of your game. But then the question becomes, if you're down 20 or 30 at the half, how do you turn it around and still squeeze out a victory? I'm Raheem Ville from Razor Sharp Coaching, where we find your edge and leverage it for career success and fulfillment. I'm excited to take you through ways to get back into your game because, let's face it, the game doesn't always start the way we expect. And at the end of the day, it's all about not just how you start, but also how you finish. Are you ready? Are you ready to get back into a flow where you are creative, productive, and fulfilled by your everyday life? Are you ready to get back to not just showing up to work to get it done, but showing up with a mission? Are you ready to show up energized to tackle your goals and to create impact that you're proud of? Come along for the ride as we explore ways to get back into your game. Number one, the way to address reactionary energy in your life is to start leading your life with a playbook and not just reactions to what the defense is doing. I'm a huge advocate for goal setting, but it's important that we approach goal setting in a way that's productive to us. So many of our goals can be tied to things that are outside of our personal agenda and our personal growth. There may be things that you need to do at work that won't necessarily benefit your growth, that are part of your weekly goals, daily goals. But how about we take it a step deeper? What if instead of just setting goals, you set priorities, right? So now that you set priorities, many times they'll also align with company priorities, but you're the one holding the reins of your priorities. You're the one who can decide on a weekly, daily basis, what is my priority right now? What's most important to me? What's most important to my personal, professional development and success and fulfillment? And what's important to achieving the team and company goals? So instead of being reactionary and wondering how you can address that big pile that your supervisors or your partners have put in front of you, it's time for you to take agency in your planning and to prioritize so that you can decide what comes next. Number two, if you're looking to address being out of rhythm, you can reset your rhythm with rituals. And these rituals can be around things like taking time for movement or stretching. One of the things that always gets me back into rhythm is doing a short 10-minute daily stretch with an app called Bend. Establishing and keeping simple rituals, which can be things like taking time for movement through things like stretching, blocking out time for uninterrupted work, like really deep work where your mind is on do not disturb, or even things like making sure that you make your bed every morning. Every step counts, just like a basketball player who may need to see a easy shot like a layup or a free throw go through the net in order to build back their confidence and their rhythm. Using these small, simple rituals, implementing them consistently into your daily life will allow you to rebuild your flow instead of waiting for motivation to come. Number three, when comparison has you second guessing, you can address this by anchoring back into your edge. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and in receiving feedback from your social, personal, professional relationships, familial relationships, from every direction, that it can be difficult to anchor yourself back into what you are strong at, what you are good at. So for this tip, I'd recommend sitting down in the morning and writing down just two of your strengths. Focus on these two strengths and set the intention to use them today, right? So for some people, setting the intention and having that top of mind as they start the day will suffice, and it will manifest in those strengths showing up more frequently throughout their day. For other viewers, you may find it useful to take a look at your schedule for the day, your to-do list, your tasks, which types of situations you'll be in, so you can take a look and strategize on how to best deploy and implement your strengths, your skill set, your positive traits in order to get yourself back to focusing on what you do and not what the next person does. Number four, when you notice that your standards are starting to slip because you're out of your game, you can raise the bar on your standards, but do it on your own terms. So many times when we fall out of pursuing excellence, we may actually be caught in trying to fit a mold or to meet a bar that someone else has set for us. Whether you're at the entry level or at the top of a company, you should always have goals that you are personally striving for. You should always have a standard of excellence that is emblematic of who you are and reflects the way you want to show up. So when you find yourself striving only to match someone else's mold or to meet their bar, it's critical that you take that opportunity to reset your standards and remind yourself of things that you do and don't do, right? Remind yourself of your values. And I recommend starting with something small. So, for example, if you're going to the gym, instead of setting the goal to be there for 45 minutes while your friends are there, knowing that you may take time to text message between sets, you may not quite push yourself to do that extra rep or two that you could, and overall avoid pushing yourself out of your comfort zone in the gym, which is where the real magic happens. Maybe you'll set a standard that I won't rest too long in between sets. Something simple like that, where you give yourself an amount of time to get back to work. Or maybe you'll decide that when we're in the gym, we're focusing on us. So we're going to put the phone away. Maybe we'll record a little content, but we won't necessarily be consuming content, right, during that gym. Maybe instead of waiting for your supervisor to be over your shoulder about your assignments being on time, you can set the standard for yourself that you'll make sure you complete the task in enough time that you can double check it yourself, that you can do your own sweep instead of only waiting for your supervisor to do a sweep. These are ways that you can reset your standards to ensure that you are calling the shots on your growth. And now we've made it to number 5. This one is sure to get you out of your comfort zone. This one is sure to make some of you cringe a little bit, but that's how we know we're actually doing something that's worth doing. So for number 5, when you see that fear is starting to call the shots and to keep you in your comfort zone, document the fear when it comes up and decide to step in anyway. Out of all the tips, this one will have the deepest demand for you to stay present and in the moment. For this tip, I'm going to ask you to carry a small notebook around with you so that when fear comes up in the moment, you can pull out your notebook and document that. And instead of writing something long or something that's really demanding, I would recommend choosing one word that you are linking to fear. Flag for yourself, I'm in a situation where fear is coming up. For example, you're in a cross-functional meeting with powerful stakeholders from different teams and maybe even from different companies. And this is totally out of your comfort zone, but you have a contribution that you know will shift the conversation, that will have an impact. But with all of these power players in the room, you're wondering if now is the time or if your voice even matters. If you are in that situation, I would recommend take out your notebook, write down your word. For example, your word can be apple. You write down apple on the notebook and take a really deep breath. And then you can decide in that moment, maybe now is the time to do it anyway. Raise your hand and make your peace. Or maybe this is a time where you document it and just be aware of how you feel in your body and what it's like to go through that fear in the moment. Fear can be immobilizing when we allow it to take us out of our body and only into our head, and we start to overthink and we start to feel that nervousness. But when fear comes up, it's so important to stay present in your body and to make a decision of how you will address that fear. So next time a situation comes up, take out your notebook, write down your fear trigger word, and then you make a decision for yourself. Is now the time for me to take a step back and to just be aware of how I'm feeling right now? Or is it time to act on that fear so that you can be back in your game? Now, I'd like to take the time, as we traditionally do, and review each of those tips for you to ensure that you're getting back into your game and living your life, running your career on your own terms. Number 1 is to establish priorities. Number 2 is to rebuild your rhythm through practicing simple rituals. Number 3 is to anchor back into your edge by focusing on your strengths. Number 4 is to reset your standards on your terms. And then finally, number 5 is to document the fear that you feel on a day-to-day and decide to do it anyway. There's a reason that we gravitate towards Tracy McGrady's 13 points in 33 seconds, the LeBron Cavs coming back from down 3-1 to win the NBA championship, or general stories of comebacks in sports and in life. So if you've been taken out of your game, there's still more game to be played. And hopefully these tips help you along the way so that you can get back into your game and back into the driver's seat of your life. Again, my name is Raheem Veal from Razor Sharp Coaching, where we find your edge and leverage it for career success and fulfillment. I thank you for watching this video, and I'm really excited to see you on the next one. As always, if today's video resonated with you, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe and tap into our community. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and to seeing you back in your game.